And now we interrupt your regular viewing program to bring you these news items.
What's up, guys, and welcome to the Shifty Crab News Break. I'm one of your hosts, Vince, and joining me is the Pun Master General, Terry Jeffs. How you doing today, Terry?
I am good, Vince. Good to be here today. I'm looking forward to chatting some news.
Oh, yes. If you didn't know, ladies and gentlemen, and people of non-binary... Wow, I lost the word there. Whoops. People who identify as non-binary. There we are. This is the Shifty Crab News Break, where we bring you all the spicy video game news we can get our claws on. Today, we will be talking about Netflix making a Tomb Raider anime, the Metacritic, not just the Metacritic scores, but the reviews for the Medium, Xbox's first Series X exclusive, Games with Gold, and February's PS Plus offerings, as well as Tencent has a minority stake in Don't Nod now. That should be interesting. But first, a little bit of housekeeping for you. Our very first Shifty Crab podcast is now live on YouTube. Terry, how excited are you that our first podcast is up now?
I am so excited, Vince. It was really, really fun to record, actually. Obviously, we've done a few news videos, which has been really cool. But yeah, just getting together, just talking about what we've been playing, just kind of more relaxed vibe, and a debate, which was really fun. Yeah, really look forward to recording that one. It was good.
It was good. But enough of that. Now, let's jump into some news. Netflix is making a Tomb Raider anime. Woo! This is from Polygon via Austin Goslin. Let's see. According to Netflix's press release, the anime will be a sequel to the most recent reboot video game trilogy of the Tomb Raider franchise. As you might expect, the series will follow the game's iconic main character, Lara Croft, as she travels the world searching out new, more exciting, and more dangerous adventures. The Tomb Raider animated series will be written and executive produced by Tasha Huo, who is also... Yep, I hope so. I can butcher some names sometimes.
We all do.
Oh, yeah. Who is also working The Witcher Blood Orange, a live-action spin-off of the popular fantasy series. Lara Croft's last trip outside of video games came in 2018 when Alicia Vikander brought the character to the big screen in a reboot directed by Roar Uthog? Uthog?
Yeah, that's guess as good as mine.
A lot of odd last names in there. But, Terry, I know you're a fan of this Tomb Raider reboot franchise. How excited are you about this anime?
Yeah, I'm really excited for this, actually, because Netflix have been doing some good things with game licenses recently. Obviously, the Castlevania anime, which was really well produced. Obviously, they've done the live action The Witcher, and now, as you said, they're doing this animated version as well. So I'm sure whatever it's going to be pretty good quality. And it sounds like they've got some good writers on board. I'm a huge Tomb Raider fan. As you mentioned, I've been playing them since the beginning, all the way through. I've been through the good times and the very, very bad times. Angel of Darkness, not mentioned. But yeah, so any Tomb Raider content is good for me. I love the world, the storytelling, the whole thing behind like Lara and the whole legacy there. So yeah, I mean, I'm really excited for this. I haven't played Shadow of the Tomb Raider yet, so I'm looking forward to get around to play that. But I only got through Rise last year, and I've finished the story, but there's still stuff to really kind of finish off on there. I want to try and get that 100% because really enjoy playing through that. But yeah, I'm hungry for more Tomb Raider. Keep bringing it.
Oh, I am too. I had just finished Shadow of the Tomb Raider either It would have to be 2019, I believe. I
Right,
had it
yeah.
downloaded for the longest time and finally sat down and played it. It was all right. I mean, I was a big fan of the Tomb Raider reboot they did.
Yeah.
And then Rise came out. I played through it. It probably maybe a year or two after I played the Tomb Raider reboot. And then obviously it was a little bit longer gap for me between that and Shadow of the Tomb Raider, but it was really good from what I remember. I mean, having not previously played any of the Tomb Raiders beforehand,
Okay, yeah.
and kind of wanting to jump in the franchise with the reboot, I think they could probably take this anime in an interesting direction. No spoilers for Shadow of the Tomb Raider, obviously, since you haven't played it. But I'm kind of interested to see, since it's supposed to follow that reboot line, they could do some interesting things with it.
Do we know like any time period this is set? Is it set during that trilogy, or is it after? Do we know? Or
it says here it's going to be a sequel to the most recent reboot of the video game trilogy.
That's good. That's good, because I like what they did with this new trilogy. Obviously, I haven't played Shadow yet, but I know that where it leaves the story, it kind of sets up Lara as we knew her from the old games. You know, this more kind of like established Tomb Raider. You know, like someone who's like who's got the experience. Whereas obviously that trilogy was setting up that character when in the first one, the reboot, she's young, going into Rise, you know, a bit more experienced and stuff. So yeah, I look forward to see their take on what the original Lara was, you know, like that kind of someone that's got a legacy that's been on all traveled all around the world and got all these different artifacts and stuff like that. But yeah, no, I'm excited for this. This sounds good. This sounds very interesting.
Oh yeah, it should have. And they do mention the 2018 live action movie. Being a fan of Tomb Raider, did you watch that movie?
I did watch that film, and I thought it was okay, which was good enough for me after the Angelina Jolie films, which were just there was just, less said about them the better. Let's be honest. But yeah, I mean, coming off the back of playing the games on the PlayStation 1 and the PlayStation 2, and then watching those films, I was just a bit like, oh, this isn't my Tomb Raider, you know. And although the new one was far from perfect, I still feel like it was a much needed improvement on the last one. So I'm looking forward to see what they do with that. I don't have high hopes for the live action film, but I'm more interested to see what they do with this series.
I feel like they could probably do a lot more in anime than you probably can doing live action.
Yeah, absolutely. Just before we move on, the Shadow of the Tomb Raider, because one thing I've heard from a lot of people is that they didn't think it was as good as Rise. Did you feel the same way? Or because I absolutely loved Rise of the Tomb Raider.
It's really hard to tell because I believe I did play that maybe a few years after I played Rise.
Right, okay.
So Rise wasn't super fresh in my mind.
Yeah.
But what I played of it, I enjoyed it. I didn't understand a lot of the hate it kind of got.
Yeah.
But it's a pretty good game. I mean, if you like those style games, you're obviously going to like it. It's kind of more of it. So which is probably just right up your alley, Terry.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I'm looking forward to it. I know I'll love it.
Oh yeah. Speaking of things that people might love, the Medium Xbox Series X first exclusive is doing okay as far as reviews go. Right now on Metacritic, it is sitting at a 71, with some highlights being GameSpot giving it a 9 out of 10, and IGN has given it an 8 out of 10. Pulling from IGN's review from Tristan Ogilvie.
Yeah.
Again, terrible with names. I apologize if I butchered your name.
We can only try, Vince.
Oh, yes. He goes on in his review to say, the Medium uses a unique reality shifting ability to bring a new dimension to some tired and tested genre puzzles puzzle-solving mechanics. It presents an intriguing mystery to unravel and add a tangible sense of urgency to your investigations by placing a truly memorable villain hot on your heels. It isn't able to play with perspective as effectively as some of Bloober Team's other work, but it's brilliantly paced and palpably tense. An absorbing and nerve-wracking journey from the shriek of its first jump scare to its very last gasp. The medium delivers a psychological horror adventure that's all thriller and no filler. So, out of the two of us, I'm the only one who has an Xbox Series X. I was kind of looking forward to playing this game, but seeing how mixed some of the reviews are, I mean, I felt like it was probably going to land maybe 6, 7 in reviews. But some of these actually surprised me with, IGN's 8 and GameSpot's 9.
So it's come out better than you thought it would, like, critically?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I've only listened to maybe a handful of reviews, and they say it's probably like more of a AA game rather than AAA game. But as for Xbox's first kind of outing for a next-gen experience, it's not looking too bad.
Yeah,
but we'll only have to see.
I think it looks pretty decent. I mean, when they first showed the trailer for this at the Xbox reveal, this is one of the standout titles for me on the Xbox, mainly because I feel like it was the only game on the Xbox that I could see that was making use of the next gen in a similar way to Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart is, in that the fact that it was rendering two worlds at the same time, which this is just next gen only, right? Is it
Yeah, it's for the Xbox Series X, S, and the PC.
Okay. Yeah, because from what I understand, the fact that it's taken up the memory to render these two worlds at the same time that you can kind of flick between, it's not something that can be achieved on current consoles. So I thought that's cool. They're doing something different. And the other thing was that it's very reminiscent of classic Resident Evil to me, or Silent Hill, Alone in the Dark, that kind of stuff. I see a few reviews kind of pulling it up and criticizing it for the static camera and stuff. And I understand, obviously, we've moved on with the over-shoulder camera with the new Resident Evil games and stuff like that. But for someone that played those classic Resident Evil games, I feel there's still a place for that. I loved Resident Evil Remake. Obviously they kept the classic static camera with that, and I kind of feel like it fits that genre, the survival horror sometimes. That the tank controls, the way it adds to the suspense. I like the look of this a lot. I don't know too much about. Is it Bloober Team?
Yeah, Bloober Team. They are responsible for
Blair
Layers
Witch,
of
right?
Fear, Layers of Fear 2, and Blair Witch are some of their more notable.
Blair Witch is the only game which, obviously, I think that was the last game. That's the only game that I really know of that they made. But I love the way this game looks. I don't know if it's ever going to be coming to PlayStation in time soon, but if it stays on Xbox, it's a game that I definitely will want to play on that console if I get around to getting one day, hopefully.
Oh yeah, that static camera definitely probably helps a lot with the horror aspect. As someone who's also played the Resident Evil remake, that static camera definitely helped with being unsure of what's around the next corner, what you're about to face. It gives it that extra little tension to it that I feel like maybe some horror franchises have lost because they more heavily rely on like jump scares, that kind of cheap, cliched horror aspect of those. But I think also what more recent Resident Evil games have nailed, especially going on to 7, is bringing it to first person. So you're still getting that kind of tension of like what's around the next corner. You can't really scoot your camera around and see as well. And then going into 2 and 3 remake bringing that camera still third person, but just behind the shoulder enough to where you get that tension. And if this is something the medium pulls off very well with the fixed camera, I could probably see it making a comeback in other games.
Yeah. Did you ever play The Evil Within?
No, that's one I missed out on.
I played a bit of it. I didn't finish it, but that's from what I remember, I think that was kind of over the shoulder. Yeah, it was over the shoulder camera style, but that was the original creator of Resident Evil, kind of going back, taking it back to its roots, and that's worth a shout. And watching this remind me quite a bit of that, the same kind of tone, the setting. I don't know, maybe way off there, but that was the vibes I was getting with it.
Oh, yeah. It looks pretty good. Of course, I'll probably check it out this weekend, as it is free on Game Pass for those who have Game Pass.
Unbelievable. Best deal in gaming.
Oh yeah, free games day and date. It's amazing. Speaking of Xbox games being free,
Ooh,
Xbox Games with Gold February offerings. This is from Polygon via Owen S. Good. Xbox's Games with Gold. Xbox Live Gold subscribers get 5 games rather than the usual 4 in February. Not coincidentally the same month that the price of an Xbox Live Gold subscription goes up $1. But this is a little light at the end of the tunnel. These games include Gears 5, Resident Evil Remake, Lost Planet 2, and I believe there was the Indiana Jones game. Am I making that up?
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah.
Was there another one as well, or was that it?
Yeah. There was also Indiana Jones and the Emperor's Tomb, which was on the original Xbox, coming via backwards compatibility. And Dead Rising Remaster is available until February 15th. And that was previously part of January's Games with Gold lineup. So a pretty solid list here. I know we just talked about Resident Evil Remake, that being free on Xbox Gold with Xbox Gold this month. It's pretty awesome.
Yeah, I mean, you must be, as a Gears fan, I know obviously you've got it, but you must be pleased that that's kind of going out to the masses and everyone's getting to experience that. When did that come out, Gears 5?
Gears 5 was... Man,
not that old, is it?
Blanking. September 2019.
Yeah, so that's pretty good to kind of chuck that on there. It's one of the top tier games.
Oh yeah, it's fairly new.
Yeah.
Which is very interesting to see. They're making that kind of push for a newer game being on Games with Gold. I know, which of course I've bought Gears 5 already.
Yeah.
But it's also available via Game Pass. And now for people who don't have Game Pass, to be able to get it for free, I'm so glad more people are able to get their hands on that game, because it is fantastic. It really is probably my favorite in the Gears series, honestly.
But that's a good deal that they're kind of giving people. It's always nice to see, especially a game that you love, like seeing it go out there and knowing that people will be able to play it, whether they didn't get around to buying it the first time, maybe it just passed them by. How does that offering this month stack up normally to games for gold?
I mean, it's pretty solid. I know there are some months when there's pretty much hardly anything to play. I know this month's wasn't super great. I know we had Little Nightmares, Dead Rising, which is obviously carrying over. There was, I mean, this month, with Resident Evil, Gears 5, since we just got that Resident Evil Village showcase recently, having the Resident Evil remake available for free after that is a pretty good move, I would think. Get people refreshed into the series.
Is that coincidence, do you think? Obviously, I know the Village just dropped the trailer for Village, but the fact that this this game has just I forgot the name of it, the survival horror, we're literally just talking about it.
Oh, The Medium?
The Medium. The fact that that's just dropped, and we're just saying they're kind of similar styles. Do you reckon they're kind of like whetting people's appetite and going, oh, you like that? Get Game Pass because The Medium's just dropped on there, like, and it's a brand new game in that style. Just seems a bit strange.
It does seem a little strange, but I mean, they're kind of filling that horror quota, right?
Yeah,
and you have to obviously think that the Resident Evil would probably be in a little bit of response to PS5 getting the demo before everyone else.
Yeah.
So
Possibly.
Xbox probably had to come in there with like, give us something we can put out. But I mean, I think plus Resident Evil 7's already on Game Pass as well. I've downloaded that on my Xbox just because. But let's see. January's, last month's Games with Gold was Little Nightmares, Dead Rising, The King of Fighters 13, and Breakdown, which was another original Xbox title they put up there for backwards compatibility. So it's a pretty strong offering compared to previous months, I would say.
Yeah, it seems pretty good.
Plus Lost Planet 2. Lost Planet's probably one of my underrated game franchises. I enjoyed them. I think Lost Planet 2 and 3, or even 1, 2, and 3. It was a demo I played back when demos were a thing.
Yeah, I remember playing the Lost Planet demo on the 360, like early days, and being quite impressed with it at the time.
Oh yeah, I would hope maybe more people pick it up, but I don't know too many people kind of clamoring for that game, really. But on the PlayStation side of things, PS Plus's February 2020 lineup looks maybe a little bit better. This is, again, from GameSpot via Stephen Petit. Sony has unveiled February's lineup of PlayStation Plus freebies for PS5 and PS4 users. We've known about one of the upcoming free games since the PS5's launch, Destruction All-Stars, which was originally slated to release alongside the console, will be available to PS Plus subscribers in February. The vehicular combat game is a PS5 exclusive and joins Concrete Genie and Control Ultimate Edition, which is getting a free PS5 upgrade on February 2nd. All 3 games will be available to claim starting February 2nd. Now, Terry, as the only one of us who has a PS5, this lineup itself just looks made for PS5 owners.
This is about as good as a PlayStation Plus month can get, really. I mean, Destruction All-Stars, you got a brand new PlayStation 5 game, which looks really fun. And this is the type of game that is just going to really benefit from going on to PlayStation Plus. The same way that Fall Guys did, same way that Rocket League did back in the day. Just getting that player base there, a new online multiplayer game. It's just got all the ingredients in this to make it a hit. It may not be like a long-lasting thing, but it looks like it'll be like a good month of people playing that at the very least. And then you've got Control, which is a fantastic game. I haven't played. This is the funny thing. I've normally lucked out quite well with these like PlayStation Plus games, and then like getting games in the sale. I literally just bought Control Ultimate Edition in the January sale, so I was a bit annoyed like to see this go in there. But I was like, you win some, you lose some, kind of thing. But I'm just glad, obviously, more people are going to get to play that game. I'm a huge fan of Remedy. I love the Max Payne games, love Alan Wake. And I played the demo of Control at EGX, and I absolutely loved it. It's completely my type of game. So it's just been kind of sitting there on the to play list. So yeah, I mean, great that everyone's going to get to play that, because that's just a top tier game. And then Concrete Genie, which I've heard nothing but good things about. It's like a charming. I played the demo of that, and I enjoyed what I played of it. So yeah, just a really solid offering, something for everyone there, really. So can't complain about that at all.
Oh yeah, it's a really good list. I'm very jealous about Control because Xbox has Control via Game Pass, but not the Ultimate Edition. So I'm a little
Yes,
salty about that PlayStation users get that for free with the PS5 upgrade coming on
that's
February
it. Yeah,
2nd.
because you need the Ultimate Edition to get that PlayStation 5 upgrade, don't you? So
Oh
yeah,
yeah.
that's a really good thing that they've given that, because they could have easily have just given, I don't know, like the basic edition of it. But the fact that they chucked in the Ultimate, it's pretty cool.
Oh yeah, it's definitely the cherry on top of the
Yeah,
whole
of that lineup.
situation. Wow. Yeah.
Did you say you played through all of Control?
I have not yet.
Oh,
It's
okay.
again sitting on my to play list,
Yeah,
but I've
yeah,
heard wonderful things about it.
yeah.
I'm sure it will run decently on the Series X. I just want to get all the DLC and enhancements for it because it looks
Yeah.
like, yeah, performance will run at 60 frames per second and graphics mode runs at 30 frames per second. So you get all the nice little bells and whistles there with the
Absolutely.
Ultimate Edition.
Absolutely.
So moving on to, I don't have a good segue for this one. I've been nailing it so far, but I don't have one for this one. Tencent acquires a minority stake in Don't Nod. This is from gamesindustry.biz via Brendan Sinclair. Tencent has added Don't Nod to its increasingly lengthy list of game developer investments. The French studio behind Life is Strange and Tell Me Why today announced that it is raising 40 million euros, that's 48.5 million for us Americans, to help it realize its self-publishing ambitions, including 30 million euros, or again 36.3 million for us Americans, from Tencent that will give the Chinese tech company a minority stake in the company. As part of the deal, Tencent will be able to fill a seat on Don't Nod's board of directors. Quote, "We are delighted to welcome Tencent as a Don't Nod investor," Don't Nod CEO and chairman Oscar Gilbert said. Quote, "This is a real expression of trust from a key online game leader, which is behind a number of success stories and has invested in several leading companies in the video game industry. Through this partnership, Don't Nod is perfectly positioned to take advantage of the various growth drivers in the video game industry, in particular in China and on mobile platforms, in cooperation with an industry leader. The capital increase announced today will enable us to step up and boost the rollout for our development plan, which aims to capture more value from our original creations by self-publishing more games." End quote. Now, Terry, have you played Life is Strange or even Tell Me Why?
I have not. Life is Strange is something that I'm quite keen to play. From what I've seen of it, and from people that I've spoke to that have played it, they've absolutely loved it. So there's definitely something I want to play. Absolutely. Tell Me Why I don't know enough about. I've seen trailers of it and stuff, but it doesn't grab me as much as Life is Strange. But I equally like those kind of games, more story driven. Um, I don't know, where you're given deciding factors, and they more leaning towards the kind of Telltale games which we spoke about before. And I've recently got into the Telltale games, so I could see myself playing these at some point.
I thought the first Life is Strange was okay. Before I've only played Life is Strange, I guess technically season 1 now, and the Before the Storm little like 3-pack episode or 3 episodes they did, and it was like a prequel to it. And I think Before the Storm was a little better than season 1.
Okay.
It still got that very narrative driven focus to it, but with them partnering with Tencent is a little interesting. I know Tencent has their fingers in a bunch of different
Yeah, they've acquired a lot, haven't they, recently?
oh yeah,
But
which has kind of put a little, I don't know, spin on things, to say the least, because there was that whole debate with about Epic Games
yeah,
a while back, I believe. Oh yeah, they got their hands on a lot, right? Games, Epic Games.
because they are. I mean, are they a Chinese owned company, or they've got like a lot of investors from China? Because I know there's a lot of thing.
Mhm.
There was that whole thing with Epic, and there was like a political thing going on with China. I can't remember exactly what was going on with that, but it was a whole complete mess. Um, it just surprises me that I know, as you said, they got their fingers in a lot of different pies, but it surprises me that they'd snap up a developer like Donut, because I would have thought those, although obviously they're quite critically acclaimed games, I would imagine they're quite niche and they're not exactly huge selling. So for the kind of markets that they're penetrating in the moment, mobile stuff like that, I would imagine that it's going to be the kind of game that's going to make him huge bucks.
It could be. I know a lot of people love the Life is Strange series. I mean, they've got an entire run of comic books um, to go along with them as sequels to the first season of the game. So, I mean, there's definitely a fan base there for at least Don't Nod in their games. I know a lot of people have loved season 2 of Life is Strange, which again, I personally haven't played it, but I haven't heard a lot on Tell Me Why. I know it was supposed to be a more kind of shorter experience where I think it's only like 3 episodes again. But they're definitely heavy in like more of those social commentary style games. But looking here, it looks like Tencent is definitely a Chinese company. They major in
Yeah, I mean they
but
got some huge money. I mean they're from what I understand they're like Activision Blizzard type like size, like money wise.
oh yeah. They I mean yeah.
Yeah, I know. Right?
Yeah.
It could probably only spell good things for Don't Nod. Maybe there's no cloud like involved with the silver lining. I don't know. It always just scares me a little bit, like we had with recently with the Tony Hawk's Pro Skater developer being swallowed up by Blizzard. You always worry because well obviously with those I think they're pretty much closing down, aren't they? They're just going to be part of Blizzard, but I
Yeah.
don't know. You do worry about these developers being taken up by these huge publishers, and you think, oh god, what does that mean?
Oh, yeah. But $36.3 million out of the 48.5 million they were looking to raise is a pretty significant portion of it, honestly. And but if it allows them to keep putting out quality games at the rate they want to,
Yeah,
I mean, more than likely it's probably going to end up being a good thing for them. But having one of their a Tencent representative sitting on the board of directors just makes me wonder how that's going to play out, because obviously if Don't Nod continues making like these socially aware games, if they have like a Chinese company kind of putting their thumb down on it a little bit,
yeah.
you think that might shake out a little bit rough on their end?
It does seem like two completely opposing, like magnets, like pushing away from each other. It doesn't fit, but I don't know. It's a weird thing. Maybe it's purely just a cash injection thing, and that's the way they see it. Maybe they're not going to have any creative input. Who knows?
Who knows?
Who knows?
Only time will tell. And speaking of time, that's it for today's
We're out of it.
Shifty Crab News Break. Thank you for joining us. I've been Vince. That's been Terry, whichever way you are compared to me. Somewhere on the screen.
I'm here.
You are here. If you like that, go back and watch some of our other videos. We broke some KOTOR news. We
Certainly did.
We sifted through all that sweet Resident Evil news. We got some GTA 6 speculation. And of course, our very first podcast where we debate what the greatest console of all time was.
That was a good debate. That was a good debate.
It was. It was a great debate.
Go watch it. I'm sure you'll agree with me.
Tell Adam why he's wrong about the PS4.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to the next one of those, that's for sure.
Oh, me too. But in the meantime, stay shifty, everybody. Bye.
See you later, guys.